Okay, in this video, we'll be going over the project settings and the document settings over here in the control panel identified by the gear icon and the paper icon. If you're on a mobile phone, this control bar is going to be running along the bottom of the screen, and you might have to scroll a little bit to the right to see these icons. But the settings, so the project settings is going to be this gear icon. And if you open it, you're going to see a bunch of buttons. The first one is the show grid toggle. And when active, it's going to show the canvas's grid. And that toggles on and off. These are all check boxes. The show guides will show the guides. We'll get to that in a moment. And then show ruler will show the ruler. Now the guides and the ruler kind of go hand in hand because you need the rulers to pull out guides. If you're familiar with other design applications that do this, you just pull the guides out of the rulers like so. But the thing about Vector Inks guides is that it includes measurements in between them. So it'll give you a measurement. This one's in pixels. It'll give you a measurement of the distance between any given two guides. Okay. And it works both vertically and horizontally. And this is great for lining up things, making sure things are pixel perfect. And then so yes, show guides will toggle on and off those guides. The next option is grid size. Right now mine is set to 25, but the bigger it is, the more space you're going to have between these grid cells. After grid size, you have units. Right now mine is set to pixels, but you can change it to inches or whatever your thing is. I can set it to 1 inch, and now there's a 1 inch spacing between each of the grid cells. After units, we have DPI, which stands for dots per inch. And this deals with this controls the resolution of the exported PNG or JPEG file. And then after DPI, we have the snap settings. Snap to bounds will control whether or not objects snap to each other. Okay, so it controls the snapping that you see going on right now between these two objects, but I'm dragging. Okay, they're snapping, side to side, side to middle, middle to middle, etc. It controls all of that snapping. Now, snap to angles, if checked on, will control the snapping that happens as you're rotating an object. You see it snaps every 45 degrees. That's what snap to angles on. Snap to grid does just that. It'll snap to every line on the grid on all sides, tops, middles, etc. And then snap to sizes allows you to, and makes it much easier to set two objects of the same size. So if I increase the size of this object to right here, and I start increasing the size of this object, when it gets close to the size of the first object, it's going to snap into place and show you the object that it's trying to snap to. And then snap to guides controls the snapping between objects and guides. So that's it for the project settings. After the project settings, you have your document settings. And the document settings control what's going on right here in this visible white area. This white area right here, this big white square is your document. And you have the color palette at the top that you can use to change the document color, or you can use a color picker right here. Below that, you have the picker type, which if you're familiar with the other color pickers, fill color and stroke color, that picker type controls the kind of picker being used here. And this is defaulted to HSB, but we can change it to wheel or whatever. And then you have the eyedropper to grab a color from off of the canvas to set the document background to. And then you have the sizes, so you can set the document's width or height here. And because my units are in inches, then I will be setting them in inches. And then you have various presets, which are various document sizes that vary from devices, letters, social medias, etc. And then after document settings, you have your export actions. Now, this export panel allows you to export only in PNG or JPG. If you want to export in PDF or SVG, you're going to have to come over here to this left side panel and select them here. But this panel over here, which is toggled by this menu button right here, also, this controls exporting in an image, PNG or JPG. If you have JPG, you don't get a transparency option. With PNG, you do, and this will get rid of the background. The bounds control the bounds of the exports. Right now, this is defaulted to document, which was going to export the image according to the bounds of the document, this white space right here. Selection will export according to the bounds of what is selected. So if I only want to export this here, then I would select these and hit selection. It'll export only these two squares or the bounds of these two squares. Crop, you see when I hit crop, the screen just went dark. That is because it has activated the crop tool. And with this, you would simply start dragging on the screen to create a crop window. And this will allow you to control what the bounds are that get exported. And then down here you can manually set the crop width and the crop height to what you want it to be instead of just dragging these handles. And below that you have the final width. Now, regardless of whether you're cropping or you're exporting the selection or exporting the document, the final width has the final say so to the size, the actual size that gets exported. And because these are vectors that you're dealing with in this application, it's going to resize the canvas to the size that you want to export before exporting it, assuring that your quality is going to be perfect and crisp as it should be. Okay, so this final width is the final width that gets exported. So you can crop it at 980 pixels, but if you set the final width to 2000 pixels is what the width is going to be, and it's going to adjust the height accordingly. And then you just simply hit save to initiate a download to your device. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more updates, tutorials, and everything related to vectoring. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.